right, we got a ball game here, boys and girls and guys and binary people. We got a game now. It's 3-1 Edmonton. The Florida Panthers have just scored. It's going to be a hell of a finish. Florida up 3-1. Game 6, if there is a game 6, will be Friday. So now I wish I was getting my hog smoked right now. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, retweet the commercial for my comedy special. Spread the word. Whoa. Bobrovsky looking a little shaky right now. But so are the Panthers. I mean, that second goal. You tell him, Lois. I'm actually not 5 minutes late. I'm 4 minutes late. We got Kyle Poso taking a penalty. You don't want to take penalties against the Edmonton Oilers. They are the real deal. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Stanley Cup Finals. We can talk about AEW wrestling. We can talk about the commercial for the special that will be out sooner than later. I'm not doing a GoFundMe. I'm not asking you guys for fucking money. I'm doing it on my own. And we'll only ask for you guys to share it when it comes out. And that's how it's done. And I appreciate the people who have viewed it already, retweeted it, shared it on Facebook, looked at it on Instagram. It's a groundswell when you have no manager or agent. I'm going up against all the people who can get their clients on Rogan and Your Mom's House and Howie Mandel's podcast and Best Friends. I got no one in my corner but the Earl maniacs. And we are a grassroots revolution. You guys are the true warriors. I think they still do Ink Master. But it's not with Navarro, Oliver Peck, and Chris Nunez. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I've been so busy promoting the commercial for my special. I didn't know Dana White walked off of Howie's podcast. It doesn't seem like those two would really get along, to be honest. I mean, I'm going to assume Howie Mandel is a liberal, and I think that Dana White's, he's a Trump. So I don't think you can put two people with money who share opposite political views on a podcast and it's going to end well. I mean, I've watched all the tattoo shows. I'm just blown away that people go on Ink Master, they get a shitty tattoo under the guise of, hey, a back piece takes 50, 60, 70 hours. You're going to get one done in 3 hours. And then the customers act all mad when they have a shitty tattoo forever. Oh, thank you, Sour Milk. Well, I think, though, even if they don't talk politics, there's just liberals and the righties. They just don't like each other. So it's going to be hard for them to, you can't even really talk sports without that dislike showing up. But thank you, Sour Milk. I mean, that opening was a little homage to Sylvester Stallone and Cobra. Um, so it's over 5 and 32% approval. Nobody's ever come back from that. I don't know what you're talking about, Drunken Donuts. Well, I have. Oh, Edmonton just scored 4-1. Wow, Corey Perry. Wow. This is yeah, I'm sure Howie knew that going in too, though. What up, SCVID show? Um, but yeah, I liked Ink Master. I mean, it's a little stale, but Ink Master to me is like RuPaul's Drag Race. I like it when it's not bringing back people who've already had their chance. I like it when it's people who've never been on the show before because they're hungry. But it's also such a like I'm almost fascinated by people, the contestants who go on the show to get a free tattoo, knowing that the likelihood of it being fucked up is high. No, that opening was filmed at someone's garage in Venice. It didn't look like much, but now we got a ball game here, boys. 4-2, 4-2. Didn't look like much, but that shoot cost about $1,000 because they built a set in his garage. So, I'm proud of it. Well, I mean, but it's if you've watched the show Ink Master, the first half of the show is based around a challenge, and the winner of the challenge gets to pick uh, what tattoo they want. But if they don't like someone on the show, like if the challenge is American traditional eagle, and your enemy can't do American traditional eagle, you're going to give them the toughest canvas. And it's like, how'd you like to be the person getting that tattoo? It's insane. Like it's literally people looking for 15 minutes of fame, and then they're stuck with a shitty tattoo the rest of your life. I mean, I was watching an old episode today. A guy wanted a rainforest across his butt cheeks. Like, huh? And of course, that guy got a few more minutes longer than the other contestants, but now he's got to live with that tattoo forever. Hold on, I saw it. Mason in Portland. Earl, what's your favorite Kiss song from the non-makeup years? I like Crazy Nights. Look It Up's good too. Heaven's on Fire. Would you pay to get on podcasts to promote it? No, I don't think I would, to be honest with you. I would not pay to get on Rogan. I want Rogan to want me on, because then if you pay to get on these podcasts, then you're just a numbered episode to the podcast. So could Earl possibly get a word in talking with Gino Bisconte? Probably not. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good non-makeup songs. I mean, and there's a couple that are kind of deep cuts. Damn, McDavid's fucking fast. What I'm trying to think. A Million to One's a good song. Rogan did want you, and you couldn't be bothered to dial the phone. Well, maybe one day I'll be back. I mean, this certainly would help the special move some numbers if I could get on Rogan. Was that Danish filming? No, that was O'Neill. O'Neill and Pistol Pete Lazarus. I'm trying to think of other. My Way, I like that song. I'm gonna talk like I talk and walk like I walk my way. I'm gonna go where I go MTV, know my way. Probably one of my favorite Kiss songs that's not on an official album is a song they gave to the German band Bonfire called Sword and Stone. But if you go on YouTube, there is a fully recorded Kiss demo of Sword and Stone. Did you talk to him when you went to the mothership? I gave him a hug when I went to the mothership twice. Um, yeah, I don't think anyone pays. That's why getting on is so good because it's the people who are all on Joe's podcast are people Joe wants. I do have Rogan's phone number, but I also know you don't ask. With really any good podcast, you don't ask. Yeah, but see, William, I don't even think he remembers the situation. He probably doesn't even remember asking me to be on it. Um, well, I mean, my political views aren't that divisive. I actually think me and Rogan could have a very good conversation on politics because I'm in the middle. I think he leans right if from the clips I've seen, and I am in talks to come back to the mothership to do Holtzman's show. Um, I mean, listen, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Um, I mean, there are people who've never been on Rogan who are very successful, but I think Rogan's crowd is exactly who I want. Blue collar, uh, just mainly dudes, not all dudes, but I would say his fan base is probably heavily dudes. Um, and so I would hope to. Panthers are coming on, baby. Oof. Get on eventually, and then you get on Bert's, Two Bears, One Cave, and then your mom's house. I mean, I think once you do Rogan, every podcast wants you on it. Well, if Joe had you on, come on mine. Um, I mean, it wouldn't hurt, I mean, Rogan is finally more conservative, thinking now. Well, I know Brian Simpson's already done one at the I want to do it somewhere where no one's ever done it at. Like you know, I mean, I'm a little surprised I haven't been on Rogan, but just because of my family's political background and my stereotypical or non-stereotypical background. Most comics grew up in a bad neighborhood and struggled, and I didn't really grow up in that type of neighborhood. So and I think Joe, and I've been on TV enough to talk about that. I'm sure someone before the podcast would be like, "Hey, ask him about Jeff Ross. He hates him." And I'm sure the first question would be like, "So what's up with you and Jeff?" And that would get me going. And of course, I got to kind of watch my P's and Q's in that subject matter because certain people are listening. And Jeff would be listening, and then he would tell people of authority, "Hey, Earl's talking bad about me again." So, we'll see what happens. And then I think the animation, he's never really had someone from the animation world on, so we could talk about that. And, I think it would be a really good interview. But, I don't want to be on a show that I'm not wanted on because then it wouldn't be a good interview. And that's, I've had a few friends of mine be on Rogan who, the interview wasn't great because you could just tell that they didn't have good chemistry or whatever. And, it showed in the person's following after, like, I think Ali McCoskey and like a few people like her, um, they had a good interview with Joe, and they literally woke up the next day with 70,000 more followers. And I've had friends of mine who just didn't have good chemistry with Joe, and they got maybe a few hundred. Uh, yeah, I mean, Red Band, I think, probably already has put on a good word for me. But I think Joe's the type. He don't like to be told who to put on his podcast. So I'm of the mindset. Um, I did not blast any beaver before this stream. I can assure you of that. Yeah, I mean that's my specialty and that's why I'm good on podcasts because I've lived a pretty interesting life for someone who's not famous. Uh, so listen. I mean, I know he saw my last set at the mothership, and I mean, I did well. Did I kill Joey Diaz style? I did not, but I did very well. So, you know, I'm well, I mean, I've been on TV enough to say I've been on it. I don't know if that's famous or not, but everyone's version of famous is different. To someone who's never been on TV before, I'm famous. I mean, I've been on every network, really. So you're sure, like, yeah. I mean, that video almost single-handedly killed Billy Squire. Uh, I think on the few big podcasts that I've been on, I've delivered. I mean, if you look at episode 666, ironically enough, on Joey's podcast, me and Joey had a great dialogue, and I think once I got going on Corolla's podcast, we hit a nice vibe. So, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's possible to promote a special and not get on any of those shows, but I mean, obviously, you want to get on all those shows because you're literally you're reaching millions of people. I mean, just on Rogan's alone, you're reaching millions, and your mom's house, and um, even going on Corolla again, um, I think would be fun. Going on Joey's again would be fun. So I know of Harlan Williams. I mean, every time I see him, we say hello to each other, but he might not know my name. It's one of those things. Man, Florida's really coming on. It's going to be a hell of a third period. Um, Drunken Donuts. Do you know who I am? How would I know who you are? I mean, no, I don't. Um, Earl, did you ever? I did read the Motley Crue's book. I mean, I thought there's a little bullshit in that. I mean, how could these guys all be strung out on heroin and fucking remember that uh, to that level of detail? No LAB, no LA Beaver scares me. I've been through it all. Who has a new podcast? Harlan Williams? Oh yeah, I've heard about his new podcast. So like I would love to be really any podcast gets me in front of uh, more ears, more eyes. I mean, that's probably the only thing I'm doing wrong right now is not enough people know who I am. I mean, based on my talent, I should be more known. Like instead of having 11 people in here, I should have 600 people. I know that the way I'm doing it is not traditional. Yeah, going back on Kill Tony, but I don't really like the show. I mean, I get why it's successful, but I don't really feel like interacting with David Lucas or William Montgomery. I'm good on that. But never say never. I mean, me and Tony are friends, so yes. Well, 11. That's better than 10 people not knowing who I am. So um, I mean, it's a jungle. Not really, to be honest with you. Are You Ready to Rock? I find him very cocky for someone who's really not accomplished much. There's no shade, but, like, you gotta stay in like, the way he walks around the Comedy Store, it's embarrassing. Like, he walks around like he owns the place. So, um, I don't like cocky people who have no reason to be cocky. I mean, we don't talk a lot, but we're friendly. See, I've heard the name Uncle Laser, but I don't know. He could be in my living room right now. I would not know, "Oh, that's Uncle Laser." Um, but, I think, well, uh, Kill Tony is certainly a successful show. You can't argue that. Well, I mean, at the Comedy Store, it's, very it's like a gang up there, and if your name's not on the wall, people look at you like, "Dude, you can't be cocky up here unless your name's on the wall," and then you get a little bit of leeway. So, you know, I think a lot of those Kill Tony people don't realize that. I mean, they certainly, when Kill Tony was in the main room and in the belly room, once Kill Tony ended, at the Comedy Store, nobody cared about it. Like in terms of like the people who are regulars on it. It's like, okay, now you're back to being audience members. And so like William Montgomery would like walk around the place shit faced drunk, he'd heckle comics, and I almost beat his ass one night. I'm like, hey man, Kill Tony's next week. Your time here is done as a performer. But in William's defense, he did apologize to me a couple years ago, um, when I think he's sober now, so maybe we would get along better. Um, that's probably a pretty good guarantee, AC/DC. Yeah, I mean, I just don't. I don't um, think that Nikki Sixx, who literally was legally dead, I think twice, is going to have such a vivid memory of stuff that happened. And those guys were fucking underage girls back then, and so I mean, it was hardly a bio. It was really more of a work of fiction, and then mixed in with some truth. Um, a lot of the Kill Tony crowd aren't as funny as people give them credit for. That's for sure. Well, they're funny for a minute, but when you're doing a stand-up act, you got to be funny for 15 minutes to an hour. And you definitely build a following on Kill Tony. There's no denying about that. But it's one thing to go from doing comedy for a minute and then going to getting 60, 70,000 Instagram followers, and then any club in the country is going to headline you, and then you got to do an hour when you probably don't have 15 minutes. And that 15 minutes that you do have, you're going to be so fucking scared, you're going to do that 15 minutes in about 7 minutes. So then you got about 53 minutes left, and you can't do it just crowd work. What up, Staggy? Yeah, I mean, that's the problem, though. And I don't know Uncle Laser, so I can't, uh, can't really talk about his act or anything about him. But, it's like, could he be passed at the Comedy Store? Could he follow a typical Saturday night lineup of, say, Jeselnik, Mark Maron, Rick Ingraham, Ian Baggs, Steph Tolev, and me? Probably not. Or maybe he could. I don't know. So I'm black and blue all over. Who am I? I have no idea who you are, bro. I really don't. Uh, well, I mean, I can't shit on Uncle Laser. I literally yes, R.I.P. Willie Mays. I mean, I did think it was funny that Steve Levy was like gone too soon. I mean, the guy was 93. I don't think you can say gone too soon. I saw William Montgomery bomb so badly at the Ding Dong Show. Well, the Ding Dong Show is a tough crowd. I'll stick up for William and that regard. I mean, they're there to see the ding dong show. They don't want to see stand up. Have you ever worked the road in small towns? Yeah, I mean, I've done like shitty casino gigs in, Winnemucca, Nevada, Elko, Nevada. Um, so, um, well, I think William Montgomery's funny for like a couple minutes, and then it's like, it's kind of like Larry the Cable Guy. It's like, okay, it's a character, but I mean, it's worked out for Larry the Cable Guy, so there you go. Earl did the Yeah, I did a show at a youth hostel with Brody. But I've done Medford, Oregon, where I went up there with some marginally talented headliner, and he was really fucking lazy. He's like, "Hey, this is my first year in comedy." He's like, "Why don't you do a half hour or two?" And I didn't have 5 minutes probably, so I did like I did the only 5 minutes I had, and then my crowd work's always been decent. I mean, I'm not Rick Anger, Marian Bag, but I survived. But um, it was a struggle. I ain't gonna lie there. Uh, hello, William still reads his jokes off paper on stage. Well, that might be part of his act. Uh, that's like Jimmy Carr reads a lot of his jokes, but it's clearly Jimmy Carr can remember an hour of jokes. Did you see the preview on Vice about China? I did not. I will be watching Who Killed WCW tonight, as well as the Hell's Angels, I guess, documentary that they also have. So Williams then did a loose 14. Uncle Laser is more cringe than William. I mean, like I said, I literally never seen him perform, so I can't shit on the guy or praise him. I have no idea if he's funny or not. But that's the problem with, going off of what you guys are saying about Uncle Laser. He's going to get asked to headline because he's popular on Kill Tony. And, when you headline a B club, you're asked to do 45 minutes to an hour. And it's not just standing there for 45 minutes. You got to be funny. Like if you get asked by Tammy Bronson or Tammy McPherson, pardon me, to headline the comic strip in Edmonton or House of Comedy in Vancouver or Plano, Texas or Scottsdale, Arizona. I think she owns all of them. She don't want you just up there for 45 minutes stumbling around. She wants you killing for 45 minutes to an hour. So I think, and I'll throw roast battle comics under that same umbrella, where, if you're doing a 3-round roast battle, which is the longest one you can do, let's say it goes into overtime, you're only doing about 5 to 6 minutes of material because it's pretty much one-liners. Earl, you look like Max Headroom fucked Ricky Martin. Well, Joe, you look like blah, blah, blah. That's a joke. It's literally under 30 seconds. And then, roast battle in its heyday, I know a lot of people were being asked to headline. I mean, shit, I started getting asked to do festivals right away. But, the thing about me was I was 15 years into comedy. So I was ready where, a lot of these people on roast battle and Kill Tony, they're not 2 years into comedy. So, but they the deal when you sign up for it. But the problem is you get asked to headline, you don't do well, you'll never be asked to headline that club again. So I'd rather watch Sons of Anarchy over rehash old Hell's Angels doc. Well, Vice does do a good job. I mean, I liked Sons of Anarchy. It was one of my favorite shows because I think they, now the one thing I'd really love to see is the fully recorded pilot they did with Scott Glenn has the Clay Morrow character. And I guess, it's kind of like the Back to the Future where 60% of it was filmed with Eric Stoltz and they just switched up. There is a fully recorded version of Sons, the pilot. They did 2 pilots for the show with Scott Glenn from Silence of the Lambs and many other things. And I guess Kurt Sutter. I mean, Scott Glenn's a great actor, but they didn't like what was done. And also in that pilot, Emilio Rivera, who played Marcus Alvarez, the leader of the Mayans, he was actually a son. So I would love to see that, but I'm assuming it's too hard to. You'd have to pay Scott Glenn, and so that is literally probably something that very few people will ever see. Yes, I will watch the WCW show as soon as the Stanley Cup Finals is over. Yeah, I mean, right above, right on Larrabee and Sunset, there is a tattoo shop that is run by the Vagos, and I'm very friendly with them because I see them all late at night. There's a gas station on Sunset in San Vicente that is open 24 hours, and they go there for their energy drinks or Gatorade, and I've become friendly with them. And Frankie Loyals from the Mayans is there. I don't know if he's a member of the Vagos or not, but he's, I guess, Vago friendly. Um, yeah, I mean, I could see like a real Hell's Angel or someone who's close to the biker world, maybe not thinking that Sons of Anarchy was like legit, but they did have David LaBrava on the show as a technical consultant, and I believe he is an active member of the Hell's Angels. So I'll do that ACDC. I'm a Dance the Night Away guy. And what was the results of that verdict, Stagwar? Uh, I mean, there's not too many. I've never really seen too many Hell's Angels in the area I'm in. I mean, it's all Vagos in West Hollywood. Uh, I will do that, Ross Incognito. Did you ever think of starting a podcast with one of your wrestler friends? I mean, after Piper, I thought, it's never going to get any better than that. But, if Dolph Ziggler or his brother Ryan, maybe RJ City, but RJ's based in Toronto. Me and RJ have great chemistry. I mean, that would be a fucking funny podcast, but he's in Toronto. Um, so, I would love to do, like, I'd love to do a podcast with Jim Cornette, but, I think he's in the South somewhere. What's up, Grimace and Pain? Um, for some reason, every time I see your name, I think of the Vince Neil song, Sister in Pain, with a great Steve Stevens on guitar, Robbie Crane on bass, Dave Marshall on rhythm guitar, and I believe Vicky Fox on drums. Um, yeah, I mean, well, West Hollywood really doesn't have any gangs. You got the Vagos Motorcycle Club, but they're just up in this area because of the tattoo shop. You don't really have Crips and Bloods around here. If you really want gangs, you go to the beach, ironically enough, because you've got Venice 13, you've got MS 13, you've got the Venice Shoreline Crips, you've got the Culver City Boys, which are apparently a pretty badass gang. And, Santa Monica has some other gangs, Hispanic in nature. You don't really hit Bloods and Crips until you get to like Compton, South Central, but that's why it's weird that you have the Shoreline Crips by the beach. I mean, that's the one good thing in West Hollywood is that there's not a ton of gangs. But at the end of my street, there is some gang graffiti, KSW. I'm not sure what that means. And I know there's a lot of armed robberies around my neighborhood. I mean, there was one last week, literally right on the corner of Larrabee and Cynthia, which is where I live. Like 4 black dudes just robbing people of their cell phones, and they're pretty aggressive. And just to give you an idea of the balls of those criminals, the sheriff's station, I could literally shoot a hockey puck into the sheriff's station's front window. That's how close I live to the sheriff's station, and they still They don't give a fuck. There's also a neighborhood maybe a tenth of a mile south of the sheriff's station. So basically, literally right down the street. And it's about, if you're familiar with LA, it's between San Vicente and Doheny, West Hollywood. But the sheriff's response time is literally 5 seconds because they're there. They're right there. Home invasions all the time. Because the homes, like a cheap home in that area I just described, is about $2.5 million for a fixer. The new homes built there, minimum $4 million and up. So I wish the Jamaican posses would come back with their machetes. Nice ass. Or oh, thank you, Spurg. I appreciate that. Or retweet it, please, please. You know, there's plenty of ways to help Earl Skakel without giving me your money. In the streams, you can hit the like button, hit subscribe. When I post that video about my special, retweet, share. You know, I don't know if you can share on YouTube, but you know, any promotion is good promotion. Yeah, I mean, I told the main guy of the Vagos, we were talking the other night. I'm saying, hey man, I love it when you guys are up there because this neighborhood ain't safe anymore. And he looks at me and he's like, Earl, I got your back. Couldn't be any nicer. I mean, they do a lot of charity work. You know, I think last year there was a bit of a scuffle because they do a once a year block party, and a black motorcycle club who I don't think they were very friendly with kind of came and set up shop at the gas station. I was walking Lois up there to get energy drinks, and there was a pretty nice brawl going on. And let's just say one guy did not do very well on his fight. So the gang of hens on the view are scary. Am I right, Earl? Boing, you are right. ACDC. Buy a Bonzo Berry. But I mean, I don't even promote my Patreon anymore. I mean, I'd almost rather get a retweet on Twitter or Facebook or whatever. I mean, you know, obviously, I'm not going to say I go into the tattoo shop and hang out, but I put it this way: I like being on a friendly basis with them. Um, uh, so you need to organize your community. Well, me and Chandler were great vigilantes. We stopped rapes, robberies, but then we both looked at each other and like, what are we getting out of this? Karma? You know, so we got 4 minutes left until the third period starts. 4-2 Edmonton Oilers. Trying to take the series back to Edmonton. And then game 7 would be, I mean, game 6 would be Friday. And so game 7 would be Monday. So, well, I think karma is real, but yes, I am Paul Kersey in Death Wish. Um, you know, I just think, yeah, well, you're right, William. Like I think I told the story on the stream. Rite Aid on Fairfax and Sunset, which is so sad to walk into now because they filed for bankruptcy, so they don't have fucking toilet paper anymore. They have like whatever they have left, but they haven't been told they're going out of business. So they, you know, and I'm in there maybe about 2 months ago, 2 months ago, 3 in the morning. I'm stocking up on my energy drinks. I got my little cart. I'm dumping all the drinks in there. And there's this homeless Mexican dude who is 3 down from me in the fridge, just loading up on Modelo's. He doesn't have a cart. He's just literally stacking them, holding them like a baby. So I just sense trouble with this guy. So I'm in line paying, and this guy just walks out with like 6 or 7 beers. And I said to the guy behind the counter, "You want me to go chase him?" He's like, "Don't. You'll get in trouble." And I'm like, "So you guys just let people steal here?" He's like, "It's company policy now. If it's under $1,000 of merchandise, they don't want us doing anything. And even if it is, they don't want us. If it's over $1,000, they don't want us doing anything." So I spent about an hour looking for that fucking bastard. Um, so Earl Skagel, yes, I like Death Wish through. I like the last. Oh no, was it Death? I think it was Death Wish 4. That's my favorite one. Um, and he did one very similar to that called Kumite or something that wasn't a Death Wish movie, but it basically was. Uh, oh yeah, I don't acknowledge that shitty remake with Bruce Willis. No offense to Bruce Willis, but uh, Rite Aid out here is bankrupt, and um, so last night I went to CVS instead. Um, yeah, well, someone was telling me that homeless people, the number one thing they steal is they go into those camping stores and they steal tents. Like REI in Santa Monica was an awesome shop. Like it was great. That's where I bought my fitness watch, and you could buy hiking sneakers and all kinds of cool shit if you're an outdoors person. Which I'm not necessarily an outdoors person, but I do like to exercise. Runyon Canyon hike, Fryman Canyon hike. Um, but and the Santa Monica one, they were just losing too much money, man. People were stealing tents and boots and socks, and it is cold there. But I drove there the other day. That's where I got my mountain bike. It's just all boarded up now. I mean, it's crazy. Retailers, I get it. Like if you're a Rite Aid on Sunset and Fairfax, which is kind of a rough neighborhood now, why the fuck would you want to be open? And then, I mean, I've been there recently, I would say within the last 3 to 4 months, where there's a homeless guy doing heroin right in the front door, like literally blood splurting from his arm. And he's asking you for money, and it's just like uncomfortable. Because you're boring me, Drunken Donuts. You're not bringing anything to the table. Uh, so it's like bring something funny to the table, man. Yeah, the REI in Burbank is good. Um, Harold, did you ever see that? I love American Werewolf in London. David Naughton, um, maybe his second greatest role outside of making it. One of the great one-season TV shows on ABC. Uh, Jesus, brother call just tuned in. All right, brother Johnny. All right. All right, we got third periods on, baby dolls. Panthers going to come out hard. I mean, it's crazy, but that's why malls are going out of business. The West Side Pavilion, which used to be the hottest mall in LA, it's now a Google building. Um, the Beverly Center is, um, you tell it, Lois, um, is a shell of what it used to be. Um, because there's no money in retail anymore. Amazon's killing the retail game. So it's just like, and even 7-Elevens now in my neighborhood. Very few 7-Elevens are 24 hours now. Most of them close at 2 because the homeless go in there late night, and some 7-Elevens serve alcohol, and those ones are absolutely fucking closed at 2 because it's like it's a headache, man. Yeah, it really has become escape from LA. Well, Google bought the West Side Pavilion, so they're using it. I don't know if it's their California base now, but I mean, it looks like a pretty nice building. But the Beverly Center and the early 80s was the mall. I mean, every celebrity went there. But now it's just stores are leaving. Now they're trying to revive it. They're putting a Lucky Strike bowling alley in there, which is a popular place on Hollywood and Highland. They're putting a Gold's Gym, state-of-the-art Gold's Gym there. But I don't know if that's going to lure shoppers there. Um, I mean, I went to the Beverly Center a couple weeks ago, and I said, "Let me go in here and act like I'm a mall buyer." And it was like, I would say 70% of the stores I would not go into. Like, they had a good Foot Locker that's been the flagship store there forever. Um, they had, obviously Victoria's Secret. They had no more food court. The third floor, which was the hot place when the Beverly Center was pumping, we had like a shitty H&M or something. Like, it was like, wow, man. I mean, this used to be the mall. Hugh Hefner would go to the Beverly Center to look for the pussy. Um, and so now, Century City is probably the hot mall. I mean, but they have like really high end stores. They have Barbados, they have Breitling, they have Rolex, they have really nice Bloomingdale's, they have a very nice All Saints. Um, they have a nice movie theater. That's where I saw Alien. Um, so it's kind of sad because as a child of the 80s, I grew up on malls. And man, malls are a relic. They are a um, dinosaur of American retail. 17 minutes left to go. 4-2. Edmonton Oilers have 20 shots. The Florida Panthers have 25. You could tell the Panthers are pressing. Uh, well, I mean, the Grove, I would say the Grove um, doesn't have great stores. I mean, they've got a nice Nike store at the Grove. They've got, Aloe is pretty decent. Um, Nordstrom's, it's kind of like it's not very good. Barnes and Noble. Um, it's the stores are very average. Century City Mall, I think, is still the mall to go to. Here we go. We got a ball game here, boys. 4-3. The Florida Panthers. We're gonna go. We might end this stream a little early. Daddy's got to watch this hockey game, but Dupars is still there at the Grove. I disagree on that, SCV. The best apple pie in town is at Jones on Santa Monica, just west of La Brea. They serve the apple pie in a piping hot plate with vanilla ice cream. The best in the business. Yeah, you're bombing a lot tonight, SC Drunken Donuts. You might want to think of going on Kill Tony. I love you, but this has not been your best night. Yeah. I mean, my background right now is as good as it's gonna get. But if we get that special poppin', babies, we might have a better background. Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do, Staggy. You love cherry pie. She's my cherry pie. It's not your night, Drunken Donuts. Just take a loss and listen tonight. Take a loss. Take a lap. Take a knee. Everyone has an off night. Tonight's been your off night. I don't think you've said one funny thing tonight. And it happens, bro. It happens. It's all good. I appreciate your uh, your enthusiasm. Vinyl has been outselling. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt that. Drunken dog nuts. No, because her boyfriend was there. But Bobby Brown was cool. Probably the worst interview in inappropriate Earl history, to be frank, because she didn't want to talk about anything, which I get. I mean, every single podcast I go on, I get asked about roast battle first. So I get Bobby Brown's shtick of I'm sick of talking about cherry pie. I'm sick of talking about Star Search, but uh, it's it's the only other thing I could talk about is all these guys she's fucked, but she brings her boyfriend with her. So I was trying to be respectful to him. Um, so it was just like one of those things. It's all right, Kip Smith. All right. Uh, welcome aboard. We got 10 more minutes in this stream. This will be an hour on the button because I have a feeling we're going to overtime, baby. I mean, this is warfare right now. We got 15 minutes left, 4-3 Edmonton Oilers. Panthers just scored. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who was in hockey Siberia for a couple of years in Arizona, uh, he's in it to win it. All right, Panthers breaking out. We got Ryan Lomberg. He's been very neutered in this game, but oof, it's a nice hit by Stenlund on Ekholm. Uh, you know, I mean, I love playoff hockey, man. It's the best. He's like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm sent. Help. Bye." I doubt that, Drunken Donuts. Just say your name, dude. Nobody gives a shit who you are in here. Like, of the 20 people in here, I don't think anyone cares if you are whoever you are. Do you call a second round of sex overtime? You know, I mean, the last girl I was dating, a quickie to her was an hour, and I was almost above my pay grade there. But Earl, what was the process of getting cast for I'm Dying Up Here? Like, I was not, I did not have to audition. The producer just saw me one night at Roast Battle, and he asked Jerron Horton, my good buddy, who's that guy in the corner? And that's how I got cast. All right, the 13 minutes and 41 seconds left. Edmonton Oilers have just taken. Oh, no, they didn't take. Yes, the Edmonton Oilers have taken a penalty. Did the Florida Panther player get called for diving? So we have maybe a 4-on-4. I think Kachuk got called for diving. Donuts. Boulder Johnny, $2. Donuts is Piven. No, donuts isn't that unfunny. Thank you, Boulder Johnny. As always, thank you very much. Donuts, you're bombing with each thing. You're done tonight. I'm putting you on timeout. I think Robert Loggia is dead. Boom shakalaka. Boom shakalaka would not know how to get online. Trust me on that one. So I did not have to audition, and the guy came up to me and said, "We just want you to be yourself." I'm like, "Well, what's my role?" It's like a bitter late night comic. I said, "No problem. I'm in." You pissed on my belly by accident. Man, you are so unfunny tonight, bro. Like, you are so unfunny tonight. I can get you a roast battle tonight. Let me call Jeff. Boom shakalaka. So we got 6 more minutes, guys, and I am ending. Drunken Donuts is so unfunny tonight. I might end the stream early. Spur, thanks for the retweets and whatnot on Twitter. I appreciate it. I see them all. And if you guys are friends with me on Twitter, if you could retweet my pinned tweet, helps get us on the product. I appreciate it. Thank you, Boulder Johnny, for all the legwork you did today and for your super chat. Let me thank the super chatters before I end the stream. Booyah. Thank you, Boulder Johnny. Oh, wow. They called Kachuk for diving. I don't know. That was pretty weak. Let me watch this here. Yeah, he did dive a little bit. I mean, I don't think anybody does. Well, 4-on-4 probably benefits Edmonton because they're faster. But here's the thing that I don't understand is if you call Edmonton for a hook, then clearly, oh, Jesus, nice save by Bobrovsky there. Then clearly it was a penalty, even if Kachuk embellished it a little bit. I don't like that call. But, yeah, I mean, this is a pretty good chat tonight. I mean, Drunken Donuts is usually pretty good, but tonight you've been horrible. Tonight you've been so bad, I would think you wrote on season 3 of Undateable, to be honest with you. No one's beating up anyone in here. Um, Drunken Donuts, you're awful tonight. I have to be honest with you. I would, if you went on Kill Tony, I would beg for you to just do 30 seconds. The worst performance I've ever seen in an Earlverse stream is you've been tonight. It's been truly awful. My God, are you unfunny tonight? I mean, it's brutal. You are so unfunny tonight, Drunken Donuts, that if you were doing this on 9/11 and I was doing an Earlverse stream on top of Tower 2, I would have rooted for the plane to get there quicker. I mean, you're brutal. Let's roast. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. I mean, this is a fun stream. I'm not doing this stream for money, obviously. But many more nights like this, Drunken Donuts, and you'll be on you might be the first person to be banned from the Earlverse. And I don't ban anybody. I don't mute anyone. This is no work or shoot. This is life, baby dolls. Let's roast. All right, we got 3 more minutes. But Drunken Donuts, feel free to take the next 3 minutes off. Ways you can help Earl Skakelnight. Watch the Brody Stevens Inappropriate Earl video. It was a video that I don't remember filming, but I would say the 360 plus episodes of Inappropriate Earl, I probably FaceTimed or Instagram Lived maybe about 50 of them. So I will put them up when Facebook shows them in my memories section. I mean, even Jeff is funnier than Drunken Donuts tonight. And, that hurts me to say that. But, I keep it real. 2.5 minutes, guys. The arrow is on the end stream button as we speak. We got 11 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the Game 5. We got a little skirmish there. No one's going to take any penalties now. 11 minutes and 22 seconds left. 4-3 Edmonton Oilers. Florida Panthers up 3-1 in the series. The Stanley Cup Finals. Just saw a Ray Shepherd video. A Ray Shepherd jersey in there. Hubba hubba. Don't see too many of those. Did he seem depressed? No, not really. I mean, I spoke with Brody the 12 hours, literally probably about 3 to 5 hours before he killed himself at the Comedy Store. He seemed Brody-like. I don't know what that means, but some people are good at hiding it. I think Brendan Schaub is funnier tonight than Drunken Donuts. It pains me to say that, too. Think about that. All right, we got a minute and a half left. And this might be the last, because of Drunken Donuts, this might be the last Earlverse stream ever. I might do a Brody after this stream. Even that would be funnier than anything Drunken Donuts has said tonight. Boy, this is an all-timer for you, bro. Ray Shitbird. Ray will go the way of Brody. Oh, Ray is a shitbird. I see what you did there. Ray will go the way of Brody. Well, welcome to the stream. Unfortunately for you, Ray's a shitbird. We're about to end it because one person in here has been so unfunny tonight, it's killed my will to do stand-up anymore. No, I'm just kidding, Drunken Donuts. You're a good egg. Well, welcome to the stream, Ray's a shitbird. I'm going to watch the rest of the Stanley Cup Finals, but feel free to hit the like button. Earl wants watch. No, you're insane, Ross. If you think I'm going to waste seconds of my life by watching someone called Uncle Laser. Hello, Staggy. Boing. No, I don't do joke for joke on a stream, buddy. You want to roast me? It's face to face, baby doll. I don't do online roast battles. You know better than that. So we've hit the 1 hour mark. Hit the like button. I don't go from beating Jimmy Carr to you battling someone who uses a fake name. Sorry, baby doll. And if you don't like the stream anymore, bro, go to Ray DeVito's stream. I don't give a fuck. Do you think my life would be different if there was 15 people in here instead of 16? Get the fuck out of here.